In this video, we're going to look at the equation of a circle. So let's just have a look at a Cartesian plane where we've got x and y. And what I'm going to do is just draw a circle. Now, if the origin is 0, 0, and I draw a line from the centre to the outside of the circle, to any point on the circle, let's suppose this is point. This point will have a coordinate of some x value and some y value. Now, let's work out what the length of that is, the radius, obviously. So we'd call that r, and we can do that by using Pythagoras Theorem. We can form a right-angled triangle here, where this is the x value, and this is the y value. So let's use Pythagoras Theorem. Pythagoras Theorem says to work out the radius, I'm going to do x squared plus y squared equals r squared. That's the equation of a circle where the origin is 0, 0. So this equation can be rearranged to make either x the subject or y the subject. So let's do both. Let's work out what make x the subject first. So I'm going to move the y squared over. Just put a box around this first because that's a really important formula. So x squared equals r squared minus y squared. And when I square root this, I get two answers, plus or minus the square root of r squared minus y squared. So that makes x the subject. Let's now do the same and make y the subject. So again, to start with the initial formula, we have y squared equals r squared minus x squared. And then, of course, when I square root the y, I get two answers. So y equals plus or minus the square root of r squared minus x squared. So if you ever need to find the x coordinate or the y coordinate, and you have the radius and the other one, you can sub into these formulas to find out the point. Alright, let's do an example involving the equation of a circle. Okay, so here's my example. We're going to find these things for this equation. So we've got the equation x squared plus y squared equals 4. We've got to find the centre, the radius, the y value when x is 1, the x value when y is a half, and then we're going to sketch the graph. So let's begin. Looking at our original equation for any circle, it's x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So the centre of the circle for something in this form, which it is 0, 0. So when we're asked for the centre is 0, 0. And we write that as a coordinate. Very simple. The radius, well, looking at this equation here and this equation here, x squared plus y squared equals 4. 4 equals r squared. So, to solve, we square root. Now, a radius should be a positive answer, so when we square root, of course, we get plus or minus 2. But we can reject the negative because we can't have a negative length. So therefore, the radius is 2. 2 units. The y value when x is 1. So to do that, I'm going to substitute the x value, x is 1, into this equation. So let's start with the equation, x squared plus y squared equals 4, and substitute in the x value. So I've got 1 squared plus y squared equals 4. 1 squared is 1. 1 plus y squared equals 4. Subtract, take the 1 over the other side, y squared equals 3, and square root. Y is plus or minus the square root of 3. Don't forget you're going to get two values. With d, let's do d next. It says find the x value when y is a half. So again, back to this formula. We've got x squared plus 1/2 squared equals 4. Well, a half squared, square the top, square the bottom, is 1/4 equals 4. Now, subtract the quarter from 4. Remember, 4 is 16 over 4. So I'm going to get x squared equals 16 over 4 minus 1/4 is 15 over 4. When I square root, I get plus or minus the square root of 15 over 4, which can be written as root 15 over 2. Plus or minus root 15 over 2. Finally, it asks us to sketch the graph. So when we sketch a graph, we should include x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Well, if the centre is 0, 0 and the radius is 2, our x and y intercepts are going to be at 2 2 and minus 2 for x, and y, 2 and minus 2. So when we're sketching, obviously use your ruler. I don't have that ability. X-axis and y-axis, circle, centre, 0, 0, radius, 2, 2, should be all the way around, goes to minus 2 and minus 2. And that's your sketch.